Now we have to study the EMP, Environmental Management Plan, or it is also called as Environmental Management System. So this EMP or EMS have different rules and regulations and legislations. These rules, legislations or the regulations have under the category of ISO of 14,000. So under this ISO 14,000, there are two types of categories that you can find out here. That is organizational and product and services. So two categories we have. ISO is international standardization for the organization, international organization for the standardization. The S and O are little bit changed here, exchanged here, but ISO is international organization for standardization of the processes or the things. Here the thing is environmental management plan. So this is under the rule book of ISO 14,000. This is the number assigned to it. And this ISO 14,000 is again divided in two categories, that is the organizational and product and services. In this organizational setup, we have ISO 14,001, ISO 14010, ISO 14030. 001 is for the implementation of EMP. Under this 14001, two categories are there. ISO 14001, which is having the specifications detail, and 14004, which is having the general guidelines detail. Then this 10 category is for the environmental audit. And under this 10 category, again two categories you can see. ISO 14010, general principles details it is having, and then we have the ISO 14011, which is having the detail of the audit procedure, how to perform the audit. What is the audit? Audit means check whether everything is going right or not. So generally once a year the audits take place in the government institutions or the organizations, where they analyze all the things, whether the things are going right, everything they are doing right or not. So that is the audit. So audit principles in the 14010, and audit procedure, how to perform the audit, that is under the 14011. Then environmental evaluation system, that is under ISO 14030. And under this we have only one category, that is 31 category, which is having the guidelines for doing this, for the evaluation. Then under the product and services category, you have to see whether the product and services are up to the mark or not. This is you are checking whether organization is up to the mark or not. And under this, we have the two categories, ISO 14040, ISO 14020. 40 is for the life cycle assessment of the things. Life cycle assessment means from the birth to the death, you can say. So from the birth to groove, it is said generally. So that is how the life cycle assessment is done. And under this 40 category, we have four different categories: 40, 41, 42, 43. 40 is having the principle of framework, 41 is for the goals and definition, 42 is impact assessment, and 43 is improvement assessment. Then we have the 20 for the environmental leveling, and again we have five subcategories here: 20 for the basic principle, 21 for self-declaration, 22 for the symbols, 23 testing and verification, 24 principle and procedure. What is the purpose of reading all this? Because multiple times in the examination, they have provided the ISO number, which you can see here in the red color, and you have to answer what is the things under that particular ISO. Sometimes in the examination, they have two matchmaking option. One we having the A side, another we is having is the B side. And under this A side, the all ISO numbers are written. And then in the other side, B side, we have all the details of that ISO is written. You have to match it, whether everything is correctly matched or not. And then you have to find the option. So two times you can see in the examination past paper from the ISO 14040, ISO 14020, they have already asked. So remember this chart very carefully. This is a very important chart for the exam perspective. So I hope this is clear to you. The environmental management plan, what you have to do, I have already told you. They will just give the numbers, or maybe they will just give these details and they will ask you about the detail or number, vice versa they can ask you. So you have to remember this chart as it is written here anyhow. It is up to you how you want to remember this particular chart. Then detail of ISO 14040 and 10 we have to discuss. The 40 here is the life cycle assessment and 10 environmental audit we have to discuss. Remaining all thing is not that much detail it is having. So here ISO 040 actually is for the life cycle assessment, and here the things of the products or the all the things we will start from cradle to grave. It means from the birth to death you have to analyze. So that would be under the ISO 14040. So here you have to see the raw material, how it is coming. From there, the environmental effects of that up to the disposal and recovery of that product, not only use of that product. So all the details you have to study under the ISO 14040. So this question is also one time asked, cradle to grave question. Then we have the categorization of 14010, that is for the environmental audit. And we have seen that the 14010 also have two different subcategories, 14010 and 14011. 10 is having general principles and 11 is having the environmental audit procedure. So this audit procedure can be also of three different steps. So these three different steps are under the environmental audit. Very first thing you have to do is the pre-audit. Under the pre-audit, it means before the audit, you have to analyze. So first you have to see the scope of audit, the industry analysis you have to done. Audit team, you will decide this will be my team. This I am going to do the audit. Then you have to plan a site visit. So you have to go to that project area to see the site by yourself. That is the planning of the site visit. Then we have the on-site environmental audit. So here the verification of records done. So emission reports you will just ask and you will analyze them. You will verify them whether all the things are under the permissible limit or not. Then interview of the staffs you will take whether they are saying right or not. If anything is wrong or not, that you have to see material balance where the things are in the balanced amount or not, that you have to see waste management, how they are doing, that you have to analyze. And then you have to prepare a presentation for whatever findings you got from that particular audit. Then you will go to the post audit process, and here you have to perform the data analysis that you are getting there and their interpretation. You will create a draft report. The review of report can be done by yourself, maybe your seniors, and final report is prepared. Then action plan. If anything is wrong, you have to decide the action plan and you have to perform, and then the follow-up plan would be there. So this is how audit is done. So here steps are important. After what step, what is next? After that, what is next? So here that you have to remember under this environmental audit section. So I hope this is clear to you. A option is building construction project. B option is the mining project. C is the oil refinery project. D is the river valley project. So I have told you only this A1, the building construction projects or the projects, township projects do not need the public hearing. Then this is called as environmental management plan cycle. How this environmental management, because this is a continuous process, this is a never ending process, but every time you have to manage your all the things. So that is analyzed under this environmental management plan. So first you have to create the plan. That would be the environmental policies, objectives, targets, legal register, significant aspect, impacts, all the things under this category plan. Then you have to perform the action, that is the do. So here procedures, document control, training and communication is done. Then there will be check, the internal monitoring and auditing report and results. And then there would be act, management review, implement corrective actions and the improvements. And after the act, everything would be right. Then again, you have to repeat the cycle. Again, you will plan. Again, you will do, check, act. So plan, do, check, act. This will continue throughout the environmental management plan cycle because management is required for all the time. It is never-ending process, you can see. Then we have seen that how to get the EC report, what are the processes, how public hearing can be arranged, what are the body associated with the public hearing, who arrange them, all the details under the category project screening, scoping, all that we have seen. But here, how to perform the EIA, that we haven't seen. It means how to get EC, we know once we get the EIA, but how the environmental agencies perform these EIA, environmental impact assessment. So these are done by the companies, you can say, which are specifically designed for doing the EIA. What are the work for these companies? These companies just prepare the EIA report for the projects or for the industries, because industries are not aware of all these rules, regulations. The persons which are there, they are not fully attached to the environmental education. So you have to hire people from the environment background, then only they can perform the EIA for you. So that's what it is. So this EIA report is prepared by the EIA agencies. The work of these agencies are only that they prepare EIA for the different projects all over the country. So they can follow the multiple type of methodologies to prepare these EIA report, like ad hoc method. We have then overlay method, then we have the checklist method, matrices, network method. So it is up to the agency what method they want to imply. And according to any one of these methods, generally one or two methods are there which are frequently used by these agencies for the proper EIA, but it is up to the agency whether they want to prepare the EIA report by which mean or by which method. So they can use any one of these methods. So for the EIA agencies, we have to study these all methods one by one in very detail. And then we will understand how EIA is performed by these agencies. The very first method that we have to discuss here is the ad hoc method. As in the name, you can see this is the ad hoc or the older method or empirical method, you can say. So the ad hoc method are the very simple method, indicate broad areas of possible impacts by listing composite environmental parameters, for example, flora and fauna, likely to be affected by the proposed activity. So here only broad view is provided. Suppose if there is a mining project, there would be installed. So in the ad hoc method, only broad things would be written. So due to this mining project, there would be increased chances of the earthquake. There would be maybe acid mine problem would be there. Due to that, the water will be provided. Due to the continuous mining, there would be heavy dust formation. That dust will create the air pollution. So that would be the broad things would be only written. There would be no specific measurement of the impacts. There is no proper mitigation of the impacts is provided. Nothing in detail is provided basically in the ad hoc method. So these methods give a rough assessment only to the total impact while giving the broad areas and the general nature of the possible impacts. So that is what ad hoc method is. So it is a broad level type of method. Only broad level things would be discussed here. And this is not specific as well. What kind of air pollutant would be there? What kind of water pollutant would be there? Which areas of that particular boundary, project boundary would be mainly affected by that particular water air pollution? Nothing is specified there. Only things are under the broad level, not specific. This ad hoc method is generally broad level and not specific, which is not generally used by the EIA agencies. Then we have next, that is the overlay method. So overlay means keeping the things one above another. So what is the thing that you have to keep here one above another? That are the maps. So here you can see these maps are overlaid. So that's why the name is overlay method. Here the maps are kept one above another. Overlay method involve preparation of a set of transparent maps. These maps are transparent. You can see from this particular map to this particular map as well, because all the maps are transparent here, which represents the spatial distribution. What is the spatial? Spatial, this is not spatial. This is spatial. Spatial means the things which are distributed according to the space or with the distance, you can say. So that is spatial distribution. So that's a different space, different materials are there. So that is spatial distribution of environmental characteristics. For example, extent of the dense forest area. So here you can see these maps will be overlaid to produce a composite map. So this first map is having detail of the local streets and the facilities only. So here few areas you can see this is not having any local street and the facility. So these are blank. Then we have the cities and towns. So cities and towns would be also in these areas where the local street and facilities are there, right? Then we have rivers and streams which are going through this. So the river can be, you can see, also going through the city and up to this blank area as well. So these are the rivers river and streams map. Then we have the transportation map. So few roads would be also going in between this blank area where the city is not there. Maybe this area is what forest or something where the city is not present, but transportation road is present. So then we have the land ownership and the use of that. So this type of maps you will overlay and easily you can find out which area would be the least affected. Suppose this is having a little bit distance area, this city area. And here we have also river area. River is going like this here from, you can see that from this map. So you can see that this area would be perfect for your project implementation. You will get water from it. This is near to city as well. There is no need to cut the forest from these all places as well. So that kind of decisions you can take by overlaying the multiple detail category of the maps. And this particular type of the EIA done is called as the overlay method EIA. So I hope this is clear to you.